Welcome back to PricePlow. Today we're talking about protein of the year. Now, proteins, we got a lot of different versions of it, but we're going to also talk about flavors, I think, here today, guys, right? As all things considered, all things equal, we've got great quality protein, so expect a flavor video today. We're joined by Mike Roberto, CEO of PricePlow, and Heather Jacques, the digital content manager. We have tried far and wide all these proteins this year, and we're excited to talk about which ones we enjoyed the most. We're blessed to be in an era where pretty much every company can flavor a protein pretty well. I haven't had any bad sludge in a couple years now. So, Heather, if you want to read off from the top, and we can start talking about what our favorite proteins of the year were.
Okay, the first one was Dragon Pharma Isoform, the new version. Kaged or Nutter Butter from Ghost. So just Ghost Whey, the new flavors they came out with in general. They had marshmallow, cereal milk, Nutter Butter, two are like their main ones. And then we had Kaged Mussels Isolate. The new flavor was cinnamon, French toast, and then they also had s'mores. And we got Core. So for Core, I mean, as you guys, if you've been following along, they had a rebrand and they just launched several protein products that we are really big fans of, like the MRP, the Post, and then the Pro. I think out of that will flavor lineup, but either any of those. And then NutraBio's Classic Whey, and that is, let me guess, banana cream pie. So it wasn't limited edition flavor, that was just another flavor from them.
So I haven't had the Dragon Pharma Isoform yet. It was released in the end of December, I think last week. So, you know, I've heard incredible things, and I've heard incredible things from content creators that don't usually talk about flavors. So that means that it's pretty good. I respectfully want to kind of push this one off to 2021 just to give Drew a fair chance, since Mike and I haven't tried it. But I do understand that you said it was incredible, and other people said it's incredible. I want to put that ahead. These other four here were incredible. The four different brands. Nutter Butter, I killed. I killed 2 bottles of. Marshmallow cereal, I killed as well. I ate all of that one with actual Lucky Charms. Kaged Mussel, the cinnamon, I tried and I liked, but it was one of the ones that I didn't go back for. The s'mores I definitely enjoyed, was great. But I do have to say that once I had the s'mores from Core, which was the next one, it was hard for me to go back.
You mean the hot cocoa?
I'm sorry, the hot cocoa. I apologize. Very similar flavors. And also, did Farm Fed s'mores come out this year as well?
No, but you were doing the Muscle Sport quite a bit.
The Muscle Sport as well, yeah. I tried a lot of s'mores
for
this year.
what Kaged Mussel did with their natural flavors, not adding inclusions, I think the s'mores was very impressive. I think a lot of companies rely on adding marshmallows and graham crackers, and I know that's fun, and I just think what they did, but like you said, I think there are some different s'mores on the market. So
it's hard to compete when you have companies adding bits of sugar and marshmallow. You know, it's if we're talking straight flavor and kind of treating everything as equal here with quality, because none of these brands use anything less than WPC 80, right? We want to make sure that we put that up here. Sometimes when we do protein videos on flavor, people complain that we're talking about based on flavor, but we have to make it known that we've only chosen brands here that use the highest quality of wheys, and that's why we treat them all as equal and only discuss flavor.
And yeah, one thing that we left off on this list, I did want you to try, is the My Protein marshmallow cereal to see what it stacks up against Ghosts, because to me, it was a dead ringer for Lucky Charms. Unfortunately, we don't know the protein blend there, so that's kind of a minus point, but man, it was, I Lucky Charms times 1,000, but without the inclusions.
Right.
Unfortunately, don't know the whey concentrate used.
Yeah, and that goes back to Ben's point. Like, to me, I tried that flavor as well because they sent it to me. And to me, I think Ghost edges them a little bit just because of the marshmallow inclusions. But I do think the base My Protein flavor is pretty close to Ghost. It's just like, I don't know, it's so close that, like, do you want marshmallows or do you not want marshmallows? Kind of thing.
So
but I do like a Ghost as a fully disclosed label though. So.
Right. One thing that was actually kind of interesting, because Mike, loving on marshmallow cereal milk so much, brought up questions from Ghost, just from our feedback for them, is that once you add inclusions to a formula, if you're doing it the right way, you can remove those flavor notes from the base protein, and you can make that base protein taste like the milk or whatever you're going for. My protein may have put that marshmallow taste into the flavor, which can have a vastly different experience than just using the inclusions for that experience. So you end up having very different experiences. Yeah, and then these are all great things for them. So the Kaged mussel isolate was great, and I think you had a great point that it's not a fully natural flavor, right? The sweeteners, they usually
Oh yeah,
spread
yeah. I
them.
just meant like natural flavors, no inclusions. They use a blend of stevia and sucralose, so it's not naturally
Right.
sweetened.
They use as little sucralose as possible and try to use more stevia, and that in itself is fighting with an arm tied behind your back, and it's impressive what they do for sure.
Yeah, I've long raved about Kaged Mussels Isolate, the chocolate flavor, 2018. I went nuts over that and still believe it. I'm gonna be the one that says that the s'mores. Well, I think you've already kind of mentioned that it's not going to be the best. I didn't like
Yeah.
s'mores isolate from Kaged Mussel as much as you two did. So, I liked it. I expected something even better than the chocolate flavor that they already had, and I didn't get that. So to me, it went down a little bit, but they're doing some really, really cool stuff with that product line. They always have been since it launched 2017, 2018 or so. So huge fan of the chocolate still, but I don't think it's gonna be able to win.
Well, the last two we have here are core. They're proteins. Like I put them together here. You got post, pro, and MRP. And like personally, you guys have already heard me say post. I finished 3 bottles of. I am obsessed with, and that's a little bit on the efficacy of the ingredients that were added. But if we're just talking straight flavor, the pro, the post, and the MRP absolutely nailed the flavor experience. Like bar none. Core, I think they did like 100 new SKUs this year, and they did some pretty good flavors across the board with different things. But I think that one thing that they absolutely excelled on was the protein flavors. And this is just blanket Core's protein flavors for 2020. Killed it here. And lastly, NutraBio Classic Whey banana cream pie. I was in-house for the flavoring for that, so I feel like I'm a little bit less excited about it because I was through the process of it, but Mike got the full experience. And I think you did too, Heather, out in Texas, of just trying it, and you guys liked it a lot.
So I was blown away with that flavor system. It's just at the end of the day, it's still a banana, and I don't think that's gonna be the flavor system of the year, but I love it. I also forgot on the list, I'm a huge fan of Freedom Fetti Muscle Matrix as well. And I almost, for the long haul, I would almost take this one more than the classic Whey banana cream pie. The banana cream pie, if you want the smack in the face, like you have one scoop to take and be blown away, to me, that's the one to get. But I want people to crush entire tubs. And I don't see it in that respect, Freedom Fetti or banana cream pie beating the Nutter Butter or the Core. Although the one-off scoop of banana cream pie, I will put against anything. It's still banana, you know.
Yeah.
And Freedom Fetti, eventually I waned on it a little bit, but I love the cake flavor of it, and it was a fantastic launch with NutraBio. Again, though, Nutter Butter, tough to beat that. And then yeah, Core keeps coming up. They keep getting second place in everything they're doing. Nutter Butter is a peanut butter flavor. I don't think it targets the entire market like Core can. I mean, obviously Ghost can target the entire market, but these flavors with Core, I think, are the ones that that put it over the top finally.
Yeah,
I think Core, in terms of not only the quality of the products, but the flavors as well, especially with this lineup, the Core Post. I didn't try Core Post, but the Pro and the MRP, like we've talked about with crushing tubs, that MRP, I think it was the chocolate caramel candy bar, absolutely, like within at least 2 weeks, it was gone. And they're very versatile. You can use them with baking, whatever, you know, like sludges, oatmeal. I really enjoyed it. I tried many of their Pro flavors, really enjoyed those. And they've been I know they're not a protein brand. I think Doug and Pat joke about that. They're like, we're not trying to become this protein brand, but I think this year, out of their whole rebrand, which has been very impressive, those are like one of the highlights is their protein lineup. So for me, out of this list, I would give it to Core personally. NutraBio had some amazing flavors. I really did like the Freedom Fetti. It is very sweet. Kind of in the beginning, I loved it, but just after a tub or two, it kind of got old. So for me, if I had to pick one daily driver, it'd be Core across the board.
give us one flavor to recommend. No, not everyone can go and buy 10 tubs of stuff. So
Hot cocoa.
So for Core Pro, I would do the cinnamon French toast was outstanding. And then Core MRP, I would pick, I'm a big vanilla fan, but I know people think vanilla is boring. They did a vanilla pound cake, which is phenomenal. Very good job on a vanilla, but probably the chocolate caramel candy bar, just because it was so different and not your standard chocolate, in my opinion. It's subjective, obviously, but then Ben can recommend his because I know he's tried a few. So
It's hot cocoa. They just killed hot cocoa. I killed that in record time. Like I don't know how many servings were in that bottle, but I finished that faster than any human should have.
it doesn't have inclusions, does it? It's
No.
just like the plain. It's just powder. Wow,
Oh,
it's that good.
It's just amazing. I don't know. It was just incredible.
Maybe they should bring it to some other flavors because they have chocolate and other proteins, but I haven't had hot cocoa.
And on the NutraBio thing, those limited flavors were great, but they had to stay as limited flavors. That Fun Fetti, you got like that actual icing texture in your mouth, but
very much, yeah.
as too much. Like I need less sweet. I need
It's sweet.
like savory.
It is very sweet.
Same with the cherry. I wasn't the biggest fan of the cherry. The cherry, well, transparently, we know the cherry was supposed to be a clear protein, and they didn't nail that in time, so they put it in the regular protein. It's just odd for a milky texture to be cherry. The apple was great, but again, super sweet, hard to use long term. And I'll say the same thing for other people. Like Axe and Sledge did an apple pie, and I couldn't drink that long term either. So all things considered.
So it sounds like we're giving it to Core, but what about Nutter Butter? Because you crush those tubs as well. What are you thinking? And I peanut butter is very, very like particular, and a lot of people are allergic to it, yada yada. So
I just think not everybody wants inclusions. I'm not saying that like it's bad or anything. I think Ghost does some really fun stuff with their protein. I mean, some of the flavors they put out this year, like frosted sugar cookie, obviously Chips Ahoy last year was huge. Just in my opinion, I'm just thinking like versatility, flavor, all those things. Obviously Ghost is phenomenal proteins, but yeah, Ben can give his opinion too.
Yeah, I think like in 2019 we were super stoked about Chips Ahoy. Super excited about that. But in 2020, I mean, I love Nutter Butter, and I crushed those 2 tubs on that one as well. But I kept going back for Core. Like with Ghost, I don't know if maybe it's just because I trust that they're going to continue to have so many launches that I don't. But when I finish a bottle of Ghost, I don't go back for another. Whatever they send me, I finish it, and then I move forward. I finished both of those, the Nutter Butter and the Marshmallow Milk, and I enjoyed them. But when I finished the Core ones, I went back for more, and that was important to me. And I think also, like Heather said, not everyone's looking for inclusions. That's a major thing. The first year that they were a thing, super exciting, super interesting, and everything. But I think like we're kind of, we're maturing a little bit and realizing not everyone wants that.
It turns out, not everyone does want that. I remember I gave some stuff to my neighbors, and they're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I thought." Yeah. So excellent. Well, we've been talking about Core a lot. They have been in every video somehow or another, except for like Rookie of the Year and all that. But I think congratulations to Doug and the team at the team at Core Nutritionals. You don't want to be a protein brand, but guess what? You won protein.
You're protein brand of the year. I couldn't be more excited to hand that to them. I think that they put their heart and their soul into their products this year. And we talked about in the brand of the year part about checking all these different boxes. There might have been some spots in that conversation where they weren't totally brand of the year, but when it comes to proteins of the year, like they just killed it for me. And I couldn't stop going back to them. Absolutely knocked it out of the park here. And if you're listening on the audio feed, we're going to go into functional foods next, and you're going to hear us talk about Core a little bit more too.
Here we go.
If you're watching on YouTube, you got to wait for the next video, but let's get into functional foods next. And let's talk about what they did there as well.